Okay, before we get into this episode, I just want to say this. Everything didn't go as planned. I left my tripod, I had to improvise, and the setup wasn't exactly how I wanted it. But sometimes when you're building something new, especially something meaningful, you got to keep it going anyway. This conversation was way too important not to capture. So here's part one of A Seat at the Table with the one and only Rudy Tucker. Legacy does not wait for perfection. So don't give up. Hello, and welcome to A Seat at the Table, the show that celebrates community, creativity, and the legacy we're building for our future generations. I'm your host, Valentine, and today I have the privilege of speaking with Rudy Tucker, a celebrated visual artist, educator, and community builder. He's also the co-founder of The Treehouse, which is Augusta's most eclectic African-centered art space. Rudy,
Yo,
your work and story have touched so many people, and we're thrilled to have you here. I would like to welcome you to a seat at the table.
all
I
right,
love
peace.
to begin
Yes.
by giving you the floor right away.
Mhm.
And could you share your journey with us in your own words?
Oh gosh.
Take us back to the beginning and let us into the story of how you became the artist and person you are today.
Okay. It was a chilly, willy day one warm month of May when I saw that. So the journey of being an artist, you said, or
Mhm.
coming to Augusta. Which one is it?
The journey that you came on to become the artist that you are today. Where did
It's
that
pretty loaded.
begin?
Um, that really began with comic books.
Okay.
Comic books has been my place of freedom, has been my place of refuge, and I just loved how the stories were being told through these drawings, and I love the movement of these stories. And I later started drawing the comics that I was reading. And my favorite comic is the Incredible Hulk. My favorite character, I should say, a superhero. And um, and I just related to him in so many ways. So I just started drawing him and became really interested in how I was able to um, render a pencil drawer, have a pencil rendering of something that I was reading. And later, it my art evolved into concepts and allowing the viewer to read what's going on. Sometimes they have their own perspectives, and then I'm able to go and interpret it for them. Um, Not to take away what they see, but at least give them some guidance as to what message I was conveying in the piece. So the journey really started with stories and from comic books, stories from comic books.
That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Now, I read somewhere
Hmm.
that you didn't start painting until you were in college.
This is true. Highly intimidated about painting. It was really about painting comes with a lot of expectation, and I don't do well with expectation. I'd rather learn more than expect more. So I just stayed away from it. So I started learning more about painting um, through other people who was like, yo, you should really paint. And so I started painting in college. And the way that I hold paintbrush is the same way that I hold a pencil. So how I was holding the paintbrush Um, I'll just use one of my students' paintbrushes. I don't use paintbrushes when I'm painting, but this is how I hold it. And after a while, that becomes really cramped.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started correcting the painting, and you'll see that later. Started painting a piece, and that piece is down there. And I started painting with my fingers, and that's what I've been doing ever since, painting with my fingers. I also like the idea of being in the painting. Like my DNA is in this painting. So I like the idea of people getting the work and getting me at the same time, not just in the painting, but also in the story of where I was while I was painting. Not just in the physical form, but in also in the mental and spiritual and emotional form.
That's cool. So you developed your technique
Yeah, on my own.
on your own.
Yes, yes, um, yeah. It's a lot of breathing techniques because of the weight of my body can go against the canvas, and I've ruined a couple of canvases because of the intensity of painting. Sometimes can be overwhelming for the surface of the material of the canvas. So so I just started doing some yoga breaths while I'm painting, especially when I'm standing up. When I'm sitting down, it's a little different. But I'm still, as I am painting, as you just heard, I'm still inhaling, exhaling, as if I'm working out.
Because what therapy?
It's
That's your
definitely
therapy.
therapeutic because sometimes we forget to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Regardless of what's going on in life, we forget to breathe. And so it reminds me to breathe.
Is that something that you teach um your students when you're teaching them?
Painting with your fingers is something that I learned can only be taught to people that are ready in
Mm-hmm.
terms of breaking down those expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Having to see that you will make mistakes, just like any mistake you make during art. But painting with your fingers with mistakes is a little different, little different, because you are so in tune to the um, the relationship between you and the canvas or whatever canvas you use, and there are certain things that happen when you're painting with your fingers that doesn't happen when you're painting with a paintbrush.
Mm-hmm.
For an example, um, what you may see as a mistake, I see as art. So when you're teaching a student like that, you can actually complete a piece organically without structure. So painting with your fingers is very organic, um, and it also allows you to alleviate certain constructs of expectation. Once again, I'll give you an example of construct of expectation. Um, Doing likenesses, doing designing for as a commission piece. You have to be really really mindful of telling the patron that this I paint with my fingers, and if you're looking for brush strokes, it's not what you're going to see. Um, some people like work to be painterly, very loose. Once in a while, my work is like that. Sometimes people like to see work that's not as definitive. Sometimes my work is like that. But a lot of times my work deals with surrealism, portrait work, and anatomy.
So you, what inspired you and your wife to open up this community hub? This.
The health of our family, the health of our community. When I say community, I'm talking about the Black community. Um, it wasn't just to be open for Black people, but that's what inspired us to and motivated us to open up a spot that was holistic, a spot that was open to other people's creativity, a spot that was the spot to educate the community about not just a vegan lifestyle, but nutrition. I like my wife when she says, I like when she says, it's not a one size fit all diet.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our customers that come here, 80% of them are meat eaters. Yeah. So it has a lot to do with how you monitor your food. So we came through with the education and of course the art, giving people another opportunity to see themselves, one, grow with new nutrition, grow with new ideas, grow with the community that comes here to seek um, some level of refuge, whether it's from your job or from your home, your relationships. The treehouse has been able to house some souls here, and change people's lives as well. So the whole inspiration came from seeing what Black people needed
Mm-hmm.
and seeing what we needed in terms of being, of course, Black. And a lot had to do with building tribes, building communities. Um, right now, seeing that our communities are now just neighborhoods, so creating a village, love through a village concept comes with the treehouse, and everybody's welcome. So originally, I was going to do it in New York, but New York has its diversity, but it doesn't have its unity. And in fact, New York is probably more racist than the South.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just in terms of identity, in terms of exclusion, um, and in terms of all those reactions of Black people just like saying why they got to be here. So I didn't want to be the the next added ingredient to those inequities of the city, racial inequities. So I found this spot, meeting my wife on social media, which is really funny. I met her on Facebook, and I saw what she was about. She saw what I was about, and we combined forces, and here we are.
Did you guys have any challenges that you had to face opening up this
Yeah,
place that you were able
yeah.
that you can advise people?
The vegan concept, a full vegan concept,
Mm-hmm.
has always been a hard um, sale. As a matter of fact, when I moved here, this establishment called Bee's Knees
Mm-hmm.
was here, and they used to sell just vegan plates, but they just wasn't doing well with that, so they had other options. And they stayed open for a little bit, but the biggest challenge is the education and not getting the community support in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say the Black community. I would say that from the time till now, from 2012-13 to 2025, the ratio of our customer base has come to a medium, come to meeting, as you say, because before, although Richmond County is pretty much 87 to 80% black,
Hmm.
7 to 80% of our customer base was Caucasian,
Okay.
white. So that was a harsh reality, and it just goes with everything else, in terms of us learning new ways, new things, and being comfortable with that. Um, that was the hard education for me, for myself, because you're going with the idea and ideology that okay, black owned business, black people will come out.
Hmm.
Just wasn't like that.
Yeah.
They came out to events,
Hmm.
and that's how we grew some of our, not most, some of our clientele.
Hmm.
Um, but now it's evening out.
I think sometimes it takes our people a little time to get with the program. I think because it's
Oh, girl.
that's something that most of our businesses have
Hmm.
when we start. Anyway, we
Those
have this great
difficulties.
idea and we just know everybody's gonna be on board. And then you're like,
Yeah.
well, where's the people? Where y'all
Where
at?
y'all at?
Like, but no,
Right.
that's awesome. And it's not gonna do anything but continue to grow, from where you are.
Yeah, I'm always encouraged.
Hmm.
Um, I have faith in God. I think that that's my strongest attribute is my faith in God, and I go where God tells me. I
Hmm.
listen most of the time, and listening to God is a practice. It's just like turning your key to the business of your brick and mortar.
Hmm.
It's the same way I wake up, turning the key to open my heart to God every morning. So I have I have faith.
So wait, you're not only an artist and a business owner. I know
Mm-hmm.
that you have a mentorship program as well.
Mentorship?
Mentorship,
Which one? New
um,
bag?
the Strong Roots program.
That's that's
It's old.
that's old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a art show going on coming up.
I mean, we could talk about the mentorship program,
Okay.
but I do have an art show coming up. Um, New bag, New Urban Blackness Artists Guild.
Mm.
We have a show. hmm, yeah. We have a show December the 16th, which is this weekend.
November 16th.
And
Okay.
this is Hip Hop Month. We've been doing this for going on our fourth year, and it's been great. Artists have the opportunity to sell work, get exposure, people see them, and it's a vibe. And it's Hip Hop Month, okay? Happy Hip Hop. November is always Hip Hop Month, Augusta. So,
Okay.
and we're the only ones that are doing it. We're the only ones that are celebrating Hip Hop Month.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm just excited about these new artists, especially we have new young artists coming through. And I also welcome other artists for the Hip Hop Month, because hip hop is very diverse now in terms of the culture, and we we welcome everybody to come out, and, and we welcome different artists as well. Although we have artists in New Bag, If anyone's interested, it's a $20 fee to hang your work for the hip hop show.
Okay. What kind of, you say other artists, so that means you do other art mediums outside of, or you welcome other art mediums outside of painting?
Yes. New Bag is made up of several artists, from writers to artists that are vendors in terms of marketing their crafts. We also have singers, we have rappers, we had a dancer, um, a designer. We had a designer. So yeah, all genres of art is welcome.
And how often do you do that?
So we meet on Wednesdays on call,
Hmm.
not just on phone, but on call for scheduling. Depending on what's happening during that month, if we have a show, we might have two meetings.
Okay.
If we have a meeting Wednesday. So, but other than that, we try to keep it once a month.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. Okay. So, what message of empowerment would you like to pass on to others?
Ooh.
Um,
Whew. Uh-oh. Uh, that's a very good question. So I'll go with the universal first, and that is to always stay true to yourself, which is very basic, but not always practiced. So there's ways to practice staying true to yourself, and that is to manifest yourself into the day. I do astral projection, so part of that is placing yourself in environments and in places that you want to be in, and then see yourself as this element that is able to move through many parts of your environment and doing what you want to do. You got to see yourself doing it. You have to project yourself into a day of success. Uh, see the completion from the time that you start to move through your day. That's the time when you start to project yourself astrally into the completion of your day. Um, so being true to yourself is seeing yourself first. That's the only way that you can be true to yourself, is to be, when you see yourself, you become accountable to the things that you have done and have not done. Things that you were good at, things that you were bad at, things that you are innocent of, things that you are guilty of. So all those things are relative to you being true to yourself. Now that's the universal part.
Mhm.
The black part, you have to codify your existence. You have to live through the codification of your principles, the codification of your values, the codification of your self-worth. And once you live by these codes, you'll be able to see things for what they are and find your way through it. It allows you, codification allows you to make life navigable, and codification also places you in the energy of acceptance. Not being accepted, but accepting what's happening around you. Accepting what's happening around you doesn't mean that you're just going to take it. It just means that you know that you can't change it.
Mhm.
For example, racism. You can't change it. It's not for black people to change racism. We don't have the issue of racism. So moving forward, codification will help you maneuver once again and You'll also learn through codification that there's going to be some friends and family that's not going to get it. Codification doesn't define you as a black person, but codification needs your blackness. So being black and blackness is two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Black is just the social, economic, and political identification in this country. The blackness is cosmic. It's the power that's coded in our melanin, and we are able to do so many things on this planet. One, as an individual, but we're powerful when we do it together, especially when we are on the frequency of blackness. And if people are not, accept it and keep it moving. And that's where codification comes in.
That was deep. Hold on, I'm trying not to trying to hold back the tear ducts that's trying to come down right now. That was no, but I hear you. You know, you have to walk in your light. That was your first, tip, and then the second one was you have to be accepting of what is, and that is what it is, kind of.
Yeah, well, I'll go a little further than it is what it is. Codification doesn't accept it is what it is.
Okay.
Codification sees it for what
it is. Okay. Yes.
But blackness will create it to be something else.
Okay.
Blackness will move beyond what it is.
Okay.
But if it's something that you cannot change, then you keep it moving and create something else.
Yes.
Same thing that we did on this globe. We got this power. Since this is Hip Hop Month, we created that. And we did it out of a subconscious that we were not aware of. If we were aware of it, then we would be consciously doing it. But hip hop was born out of our subconscious power that came from the motherland, that came from America. So you're talking about foundational Black Americans that were here vibrating on a level of creativity. And then you have a huge population of Africans vibrating on a level of conscious creativity. But when slavery came, all of that was stripped and then suppressed. So once you have suppression, you got to move around, just like the Southern migration to Harlem, creating the Harlem Renaissance. Harlem wouldn't be Harlem without South. Okay? So with hip hop, we were able to use the djembe. The djembe is a drum in Africa. Call it the drum of life. We went from djembe to DJ. Djembe is spelled DJEMBE. So we took the turntables and made sounds with it. Even though we already had a record, the mind and the soul matched together and said, let's take this a little further. And then made sounds that was on this frequency, was able to transmit to a dancer who was just like, oh, what is this? And all of a sudden, they're doing helicopters on the floor. They're doing spin kicks and moves, combining moves from capoeira, And capoeira is a African martial art. So all these things are relative, and then they start tutting. well, these are moves from Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Mm.
All of these things are happening all at once.
Mhm.
So you got the drum happening, you got the djembe happening, you got the vibration of the music happening, you got the breakdancing happening. Then you have graffiti,
Mhm.
which is hieroglyphics again,
Mhm.
right? Then you have, of course, the MC, the master of ceremony, the one that commands the space. Well, that's always been our role in
Mhm.
speaking. It has always been our role to galvanize humanity, to come not just hear us, but learn what's happening.
Mhm.
And where do we get that from? Circular conversations in Africa, where there was a storyteller
Mhm.
speaking to the community. That's the MC.
Mhm.
So it's never, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We are too great of a people
Mhm.
to just leave it at it is what it is. It's a cool phrase.
Mhm.
It's a cool cliche, but is it defining anything? No, it's not.
Mhm.
It's another way of saying I'm too lazy to create something else.
Mhm.
To create, I'm too lazy to do something else that has nothing to do with things that have stopped. What it is, what it is means that you're stifled.
Y'all
That's what
hear
that
that?
means.
Do y'all hear that?
It just means you're stifled. It means you have come to a place where you don't know where else to take this creative force that's inside of you.
Mhm.
And most times it's because of the people that you're around.
Mhm.
You know, they're agreeing with you. Yeah, it is what it is. And then you have a whole community of people living in what it is
Yes.
instead of creating a better way. And we have been
Yes.
a people that have created a better way. We
Mm.
did it on a plantation. We did it in Egypt, creating, making yellow stone into pyramids that was given to us, and I'll go there, through our galactical ancestors.
Mhm.
So here we are with this greatness, and we're not tapped in.
Mhm.
Well, I should say, most of us are not tapped in.
Oh, let me